Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, this is your US General 5-drawer tool cart with side tray and deep compartment. This is going to be part 7 of this segment right here. Okay, I want to get right into it, okay, with this particular video because in this particular video I am going to be showing and demonstrating a lot of different items, and I'm going to be touching a lot of different topics. Okay, so I'm going to try to condense all the information into this particular video. Okay, so I would appreciate it if you view the video, from to beginning to end. Okay, and towards the end of the video, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. You already know I'm not a hater, anything like that. I just enjoy my craft. Okay, and I appreciate, spreading the love and giving the time to, just spread the knowledge, to the individuals in the tool community out there. So as I always state, as usual, okay, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background, my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Okay, so right now, like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time in the introductory or anything like that. We're going to jump right into it, dive right in. We're going to get to it. Okay, so just walk with me. Let's get it. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna start with this right here. The socket that you basically see in the middle was a socket that was given to me a few days ago by one of my co-workers. I did put it up in a previous video. Okay, as you can see here, I have my light so that you can take a good look. So any mechanics that are basically out there who've been in the field for a long time, as you can see, this socket is impact graded. Okay, and as you can see, this is a 1/2 inch drive. Okay, if you take notice to the inside of the socket, as you can see, is basically threaded. I'm not quite sure what the socket is basically used for. I don't know whether it's a rethreading socket, okay, for axles. But if somebody is out there and they do know technically what the socket is basically used for, I would appreciate it if you could leave it in the comments. Okay, now moving along, the other day I did show a MOG. As you can see right here, this is a ball joint socket, which is a T412, and as you can see, this is made in the USA. You can find these sockets online, but nowadays they are rebranded. This is the original make model of these sockets. Okay, the ones that are made now that you possibly see online, they come a lot cheaper because I believe that they're designed a little bit differently, with different metals and so on and so forth. So the sockets are slightly a little bit cheaper, but this is a very expensive socket that runs roughly between $100 and $140, I believe, in its original state. Okay, as you can see, it does have a little wear, but the socket is still good. Okay, just to let that be known, because I do know with some more products, some of them are made over in Japan and Mexico, and I believe somewhere else. But as you can see, this actually comes from the USA. Okay, and the part number is T412. That is a ball joint socket. Here is a specialty tire rod socket, as you can see, which is a snap-on, and the part number is WA14A. Okay, 1/2 inch drive. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick, just in case somebody knows what the socket is in the center. Okay, let's move along. Okay, now we're gonna move along into 1/2 inch equipment, and as you can see, everything sitting at the top of the cart is all snap-on. Towards the back, we have the breaker bar. Okay, the part number is SHBB24. Okay, and the repair kit for this item is RKBB3. Okay, then the next item that you see is a non-locking 24-inch 1/2 inch drive. Okay, the part number is SHLF80, and the repair kit for this model is RKR880A. Okay, now the next one is a half-inch drive, 24-inch locking flex head. Okay, the part number is SHLX80A, which is also an 80 tooth design with a 4.5 aux swing. The repair kit for this is RKRS80. Okay, moving along, as you can see here is a 18-inch half-inch drive. Okay, the part number is SHL80, and the repair kit for this model is RKRS80A. All right. On the standard handle, the part number is SHL80. The repair kit for this model is RKRS80A. Okay. These are all 4.5 aux swings and 80 tooth design. These are the dual 80s right here. These are technically more enough used in suspension work in my field. I do go to half-inch drive when it's time to remove cease oil filter housings underneath the vehicle. Um, but more than likely, a lot of times I go to the breaker bar and half-inch snap-on ratchet adapter. Okay. Okay, now moving along into the 3/8 drive in the automotive field, what we most and mainly use is a lot of 1/4 inch and 3/8 drive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the non-locking, basically that's in the back. Okay, the part number on that ratchet is FHLLF80. Okay, and the repair kit is RKRFFLLF80. This is also a 4.5 aux swing 80 tooth design. Okay, moving along to the bent handle, as you can see, the part number on the bent handle is FHBF80A. This is also a 4.5 aux swing. The repair kit for this model is RKRF80. Okay, now as you can see here, which is the roto head, this is the 100 tooth design. Okay, this actually has a 3.6 aux swing, and the repair kit for this model is RKRFHNF100. Okay, now back here towards the back, this is a 3/8 drive breaker bar, as you can see. Okay, and the part number for this breaker bar is FHBB12A. Okay, and the repair kit for this breaker bar is RKBB2A. As you can see here, which is a 3/8 drive. Okay, this is also a 80 tooth dual 80 design. Okay, I actually don't have the part number accessible to me. It is actually on the ratchet, but I prefer to just hold the device, and I want to keep things steady and keep things moving along. But basically, you get the idea when it comes to what we work in our automotive field with. Okay. Okay, now moving along. In yesterday's video, I did demonstrate these low profile socket sets, as you can see here, which is the SAE standard, and over here, which is the metric. The part number on here is 209RF, okay, 9-piece low profile socket set. And as you can see is the metric, and the part number is 210RAFMA. Okay, I talked a little bit basically about these sockets and their design, but I never actually did a demonstration to show you based upon the ratchet on the metric side. The ASAE standard set I didn't purchase with a ratchet. I didn't have the need to purchase that set in a ratchet due to the fact that you have the metric ratchet here. Okay, there is a third different set which comes in 1/4 inch, but the 1/4 inch doesn't come with an anvil and ball detent like the 3/8 drive. Okay, the 1/4 inch set is a pass-through set. So as you see here, I have one of my 3/8 drive standard bent handles, which is a snap-on USA made. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at this particular ratchet and its design real quick. Okay, what I want you to take notice too is that the sockets are 3/8 drive. As you can see, they are 12 point, not 6 point, okay, in their design. Now, as you can see, the ratchet and how testically, basically how thin the ratchet is. If you take notice to the anvil and its ball detent, you can tell that the ball is testically very, very small, compared to a normal standard ball detent, okay, on any standard or flex head ratchet, okay, in its design. That's one thing I would like to point out. So when it comes to these particular ratchets and basically these sockets were created and designed, to basically fit on the anvil of these ratchets, okay? But as you hear me shaking it, you can hear the play in the ratchets, which, as you can see, and this is basically what I was trying to explain basically about those. So now I'm going to get the same sockets on the anvil to the bent handle so that you can get a good visual of what I'm talking about. Okay, now that I have the socket on this ratchet here, and as you can hear me shaking it, the socket is very tight, okay? There is no play in the socket or no wobbling where that it will walk on you. So this is for what reason why I was stating that in all actuality this ratchet is really not as much as a benefit to you, but the sockets could be. Now there's a difference when it comes to other particular ratchets, like say for instance, some mechanics, they have long quarter-inch bodies with 3/8 drive heads on them. So that would suit the need more, especially when it comes to these particular sockets right here. I'll get out some long quarter-inch drive bodies so that you can basically get an understanding and idea. Okay, now as you can see, I have some of my most longest quarter-inch bodies in standard handle and non-locking flex head. These are quarter-inch drive tools, but the flex head just has a quarter-inch head on it. It doesn't have a 3/8 drive. Some mechanics and some technicians do have their ratchetry modified with a different head on it with a 3/8 drive head on quarter-inch bodies. So like I said, in a situation where you would feel, that you need the thin design to get in enclosed tight places, okay, this here would give you more of leverage, okay? And with a 3/8 drive anvil, the sockets will be a whole lot much more tighter and possibly not slipping and coming off of your anvil or basically walking on you. So in all actuality, the sockets are actually more fit and better in applications for designs like these, testically compared with this. Okay, you got to think this is not a quarter-inch drive. This is 3/8 drive. So there's a difference in different type of leverage and different type of torque that you'll basically be putting on a fastener. Okay, just to give this, a thought. Okay, now as a technician coming into the field, okay, I don't want people to get discouraged or mistreated because I'm using snap-on items, to demonstrate what I want to explain. It's just unfortunately I don't have ratchets and other brands to do in this demonstration. But for the younger technicians coming to the game, it doesn't necessarily matter the brand. It doesn't necessarily have to be a tool truck brand. But what you would like to have, okay, as you can see, again, like I already said, you would definitely want a 1/2 inch drive, okay. I don't actually have standard handles in 1/2 inch drive or a shorter version. Between this and the standard handle is basically the same length that I have in a 1/2 inch drive. But as you can see here is a 3/8 drive lock and flex head. A lot of technicians and a lot of mechanics don't like the feature of the lock and flex head. Some prefer the non-fixed locking flex head, like as you can see in this 3/8 drive bent handle, okay, and this quarter-inch here, okay. So these would basically be the measurement drive sizes that you would basically use and basically need when getting into the field. So as you can see, the first one up is a quarter-inch standard handle. Then you have a quarter-inch flex head. you don't necessarily need a flex head bent handle. This is something of my personal preference and my personal choice, because it do help me get a lot of work done in a lot of tight spaces, testically, compared to this 3/8 drive and locking. As you notice, the body of the ratchet is a whole lot much more smaller. um, and as you can see in the bend handle, this incline of the handle allows me to maneuver around a lot of different obstacles. And with the option of its flex head, I'm tend to use the ratchet as if it was a speed handle. Okay, just to put that out there real quick. Let's move along. Okay, moving along. Okay, as you can see, I have quite a few items up at the top of the chest. In a couple of previous videos beforehand, I showed this is a Laos oil filter low profile socket set. Okay, the part number is 13300, and I also demonstrated and I showed this is a 4-piece snap-on oil filter socket set, and the part number is OFSKIT. Okay, in that part of the video, I was basically talking about the Laos low profile design in these sockets, and specifically, when it came to this particular size socket right here, because in the snap-on set, as you notice, that end socket is designed differently from all the other sizes and dimension. Okay, which those sockets are a whole lot much more thicker than this particular socket. Now, these particular sockets here are quite expensive on the snap-on truck. Okay, these sockets right here will not do your job any much more better than these particular sockets right here. Now, you can pick these up at a local retailer, but Snap-on does provide these loud socket sets on the Snap-on truck. Like I stated in the video, this are designed and distributed by a family-owned business. Okay, so to move along, as you can see here, right, this is a 3/8 drive, and this is a Craftsman's. As you can see, this is a USA made 3/8 drive oil filter claw, and this is a 1/2 inch drive oil filter claw. There's a reason technically for all the different type tools when it comes to removing oil filters and oil filter housings. Okay, basically, in a lot of different make models and vehicles, you will always come across two different type of filters, whether it's a can filter or whether it's a paper filter. Okay, more enough, when you're basically dealing with can filters, you'll be using an oil filter flute in a design testically like these here. Okay, these are differently designed for different make and model vehicles when it comes to their filters. So as you can see here, this is an autocraft. Okay, and this is designed for very specific make model vehicles. This is a 64 millimeter, and as you can see, this is for Toyota, Lexus, and Scions. Okay, and if you notice how it has teeth, okay, there are actually two different measurements in one. Okay, you can get a 1/2 inch ratchet on here, and you can also fit a socket, or you can fit an open end wrench or combination wrench to remove the oil filter if it's a flex, because you may technically need the leverage. Okay, you can also use a 1/2 inch drive breaker bar. A lot of times I use a 1/2 inch drive breaker bar with my snap-on ratcheting adapter. Okay, and over here, as you can see, this is a design of Stillman. Okay, and the part number on here is 9664. Okay, moving along, here's another tool. This tool is mainly more designed for canister filters, not paper filters. Okay, sometimes it's good to have two different size oil filter wrenches. The one that you see right here is actually a Craftsman's USA made, and the one that you see here is a Milwaukee. Okay, and if you notice, the Milwaukee is in a smaller design because the canisters do come in all sorts of different shapes and forms. Okay, more enough when you were going to a claw. Okay, I typically use the claw when I run into situations where I run into filters that are basically seized and over tightened. Okay, but it's not all the time that you will want to use these. It depending upon what are you using them with, because you can puncture a filter. The next thing you know, you get oil falling all over the place, and basically you can't stop it. Okay, so like I was saying, between this loud set and the snap-on is more of a luxury and a personal preference. These main three sockets here, yes, are useful, even though the fourth socket does have 3-in-1, and it is designed to get the job done with certain vehicles, but not for all vehicles. So if you do work on a long range of vehicles and not just normal specific makes daily, then this would be the better option for you. So you will basically have to understand between paying $30 to $50 on a set like this, technically compared to over $100 or a little bit underneath $200 for a set like this on a tool truck. Okay, just to give you a good idea. Another thing that I would like to mention, between these two particular sets right here, okay, I do suggest a set that is smaller like this, because sometimes there's situations where the oil filters are located, and as you can see, the jaws on this wrench is a whole lot much more long, a whole lot much more wider. So sometimes you get into positions where it's hard to get in and maneuver and get it off. And more than likely, you know, if you had something like this that's testically more smaller, and as you can see, the teeth on it are testically aggressive. It's mainly more fit for smaller filters, but that's not to say that you cannot put it on bigger filters, because as you know, it basically extends. Okay, so just to point that out real quick, let's move along and get to it. Okay, moving along, what I want to point out is that you do want to have different types of picks in your selection. As you can see, what I normally keep in the tool cart, as you see, I didn't pull out all of them, but this is the Milwaukee, okay, picks. I never have an issue with these. I actually have two sets of them. I keep one set in the tool cart, and I keep another set in one of my pack out Milwaukee backpacks. Okay, as you can see here, this is the flat tip version, the two-piece wide tip, and the part number is SGA102BR. Okay, and then you have your short versions, which is SGASA204CR. Okay, just to move things along. Now, as you can see, here's your long set. Okay, and this is a 6-piece radiator hose pick set, and the part number is SGRHT6BO. Okay, give you a good example of the set here and how things are basically looking here. Okay, these are some of the best pick sets right here on the market. This is a seal removal set right here. So as you can see, they're basically black, and as you notice, the tips are rounded off at a particular angle. Okay, and the part number here is SGSR104AR. Okay, excuse my hands from being dirty, because you know I just came from work. You know, if your hands is clean, that means you ain't working. Get it? So here is the long extended picks, as you can see. All right, and the part number is SGLASA204CR. Okay, and this is the 4-piece mini long soft grip with the all hook pick set. Okay, these definitely come in handy. Okay, as you can see, a lot of these packs are still new in their original manufacturer packaging. You know, I'm just waiting to basically get a new storage so I can get the full layout, because I like to have things in blow molded cases. So, you know, in the time being, I just do what I have as far as the Milwaukees. Okay, I actually be having other means to still get the work done without some of the equipment. But when it comes to a lot of this tool truck brand equipment, I don't want, you know, the younger techs out there to get discouraged or get confused. Some of this stuff, you know, you can get less cheaper, expensive items in um, these particular type tools, you know, to get you through your job, make some money. You understand? This is more of a personal preference and a luxury. Okay. So, you know, I advise for you to study your craft. Don't worry about tool storages. Get your tools up first, okay? Worry about the storage last, you know? Storages don't make money. Tools do, okay? Okay, let's get it. Now, basically you gonna have and get yourself a good set of hammers, okay? What you're taking a look at here is a sledge made by Hart. Okay, this is a new hammer. I haven't actually used it, as you can tell. Okay, because in the shop I did actually have other older hammers that I was still working with. I just picked this up on a humble one day, and I put it to the side, you know, when it's time for me to get a new storage. And as you can see, I also picked up an old school Craftsman's dead blow. Okay, this is a fiberglass dead blow. This is definitely an excellent dead blow hammer right here. I was always using one by a technician in the shop that owned it, and you know, even though I had hammers, I was always reaching for his, and I got tired of reaching for his, so I basically needed my own. So you know, that just basically goes to show you, you know, when you're in the shop, don't be trying to borrow, you know, another technician's tools more than one to two, three times. Basically, everybody gets a check like one another. My advice, get your own. You'll appreciate it more in the long run. Okay. As you can see here is a snap-on. This is a ball peen hammer right here. Okay. As you can see, made in the USA. Okay. Um, the part number on here, as you can see, is HBBD40. Okay. This is a 40 ounce dead blow right here, and as you can see here is also a snap-on double combination. This was actually a recent pickup also. Okay, as you can see, this is also made in the USA. Okay, and there's your part number here, if it will focus in good enough. And what I'm taking a look at is 9H2320-20. Okay, so you definitely want to have yourself a good set of hammers. There's two other hammers that I'm actually lacking at the moment that I don't have with me, but I'll probably put them in another video at a later time. Let's move along and get to it. Okay, another thing that you're going to want to have in your selection, as you can see at the top of the chest, I have a different assortment of lighting systems. Okay, as you can see over there in that box that is sitting right there, that is the Milwaukee underhood light that I have repackaged up. Okay, inside the chest I also actually have another set of lights that basically go over my gloves. I actually demonstrated it in previous videos. Towards this end of this video, since the lid is closed, I will show those again and give you a visual on those. But as you can see here, these three that are basically sitting here are magnetic lumen lights. These two that are centered right here is the snap-on wireless. Okay, these are very strong magnets on the lighting system that is sitting towards the end. This one is actually testically more stronger than this one. This has a aluminum body, and basically this has plastic bodies here. Okay, so as you see over here, I also keep the Milwaukee floodlights. As you can see, I keep the headlamp. I actually have a couple of headlamps. Okay, but these Milwaukee floodlights, I like these also. They are very bright, just as well as the underhood light. So you would want to have some good quality lighting systems um, in your selection. There's plenty of brands and plenty of other different companies out there that produce them. Okay, some people are big fans of what is that, the brand that I believe that Harbor Freight puts out. I guess they have certain particular lights at reasonable prices. Okay, it's not always necessary that you really have to spend the most top-notch money, because as you can see over here, these three are actual tool brand truck lighting systems, testically compared to the Milwaukee's, which is non-tool truck brand quality, but the quality is basically up there with the tool truck brand. Okay, so like I said, Milwaukee, snap-on. Okay, just to give you a visual. Now let's move along and get right to it. Okay, to come back a little bit, because I didn't get an opportunity to throw this in a video, because like I was saying, and I was talking about me actually having spark plug sockets. Okay, I do have a different variety of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but as you can see here is a Black Hawk. Okay, made in the USA. I don't know if you can see this here. Okay, but this is Black Hawk. This is a 13th, 16th right here. Okay, so it's good, to get yourself a good set of spark plug sockets. As you can see, I did just recently get these two um swivel extensions, which are snap-on. They do have other sets out there that's less expensive, that basically come with more units. Okay, I picked up these snap-ons due to the fact that I basically deal with a tool truck. So if anything was mainly more to go wrong with them, technically I don't have to worry about shipping anything out or anything like that. I can pass these right off to my dealer, and my dealer swap these out for me. But just to throw that out there, make sure that you get yourself a good set of spark plug sockets, whether they be standard. But I mainly more suggest, the extended swivel. Some technicians and mechanics have issues with them, with they locking up and things like that. And some don't. They also have impact graded versions also, and double jointed versions. Okay, let's move along. Okay, real quick, I didn't put out any particular drive sizes. I just pulled out some random sockets at the prior moment to just basically demonstrate this. Okay, what you're seeing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different brand sockets. Okay, well, testically 9, because the two that are on this end are Craftsman. Okay, and basically you're gonna be able to tell the difference. There's a reason why I pulled out those two different Craftsmen, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. Okay. Um, Matter of fact, there was some that I forgot. Oh no, it's there. All right. First, I'm gonna start with this. Okay. Um, this is a Craftsman's right here, and this is more of their newer make Craftsman. As you can see, the print, and as you notice here, this is a old school, made in USA, if you can see. Okay, and you can notice the texture of the chrome finish in its design. Okay, both sockets are 6 point. This is a shallow, and this is a 1/4 inch deep right here. Okay, as you are taking a look, here is a Tecton 3/8 drive impact socket, and what you're taking a look here is a 10mm Mako. I don't know if you can see this. As you can see, this is a 10mm Mako. Okay. Also, I just pulled from one of my selections of my sockets. As you can see, this is gray pneumatic. Okay. As you can see, it is made in Taiwan. This is chrome moly. Okay. Then, as you can see here, is Sunex, which is also made in Taiwan, which is chrome moly. This is a 12mm. Then what you're taking a look at here is an actual brand of Advanced Auto, which is Tech Pro. They've been using this brand and going hard with it, promoting this more. They also held Gear Wrench, but I think that they were having some type of issues with Gear Wrench, and they started stripping it from their shelves. So they basically started pushing this particular brand of tech right here. Not for nothing, I have used these sockets roughly for about a year, and they have held up very well. I never rounded anything off with these sockets, and technically I didn't really pay much for the whole set. The ratchet didn't hold up that long, more than 6 months, but the sockets have held up very well. Okay, as you can see here, this is a socket of Expert. This is a brand that Mac Tools pushes on their tool trucks. I've had these sockets roughly since the year 2000 and between 2011 and 2012. Okay, I've never had an issue with these sets right here. I actually have these sets in mid-length and quarter-inch drive. And what you are taking a look at here, this is a 1-inch Stillman Pro. Okay, impact socket. And then, as you already know, I have a long list of line of snap-on sockets and so on and so forth. The point of the matter of me pulling out these sockets, because not for nothing, for the younger technicians out there, once again, don't want you to get discouraged and peer pressure into thinking that you technically need the high quality tool truck brand tools, because there are a lot of different brands out there making a lot of different tools. Okay, that hold up just as well. But the thing is depending upon how much you use your tools, depending upon what type of work you do, how much you put your tools through, whether you're hard on your tools, whether you're not, at some point in time, you know, you're gonna want to step up your grade of tools. Okay, but for the price, you have a lot of different tool brands out there that are putting out and manufacturing some good quality tools, such as Sunex, Nico. um, you have quite a few. One is my favorite, Gray Pneumatic and Tecton. You understand? Like Snap-on is expensive, Maco's expensive. Cornwell, they, you know, like in the middle. They're a tool truck brand, but they're technically not as expensive, you know, as Snap-on. Snap-on is like one of the most highest of them all, you know, at the prior moment. But you can get away and do well, you know, with the Sunex. I would suggest the Sunex or Gray Pneumatic. Definitely the Gray Pneumatic. I never have any issues with them. Um, Not for nothing. Hold on a second. I'll show you. This is a Gray Pneumatic here. Okay, just as well as you see a lot of new tools in the cart, I have a whole different line of equipment that has been being put through heavy use. Okay, where you can see have heavy wear. Okay, being, you know, the finish on it is dull. As you can see, this is Gray Pneumatic. Okay, this is the 7/8 right here. Okay, so when you take a look at the card, and yes, you do see a lot of new tools, don't think that, you know, I don't have other equipment that I've been putting, you know, through the motions, because like I said, I put everything through the motions. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, now as you can see, I have some other items out at the top of the cart. All right, and as you notice, I still kept this Sunex 3 drive swivel impact here. Okay, I do actually have all the snap-on swivel impacts from half-inch metric to SAE standard, and half-inch 3/8 drive and quarter-inch. The only sets that I'm basically lacking is the deep sets of metric and ASAE standard. The reason why I actually have these two sets out here is because in a previous video I was talking about and showing the particular case, and what this set comes in, that you can roughly pick up between, I think it's 16 and 70 something dollars. I technically can't remember actually what I paid for it, but I'll find a link and leave a link in the description for the particular set, which is a 10-piece set that actually has no skips, and this is a 3/8 drive, okay? But the point of the matter is, what I want to state is that in a 3/8 drive in Snap-on, right, you only get roughly 5 to 6 pieces, okay? 6 units. And when it comes to getting on the truck, those sets are over $200. Some of them are slightly underneath $300 if you're buying them from the site or buying them from the truck, okay? And this particular set right here, which they hold up really well, okay? Basically for the money. They're technically not a tool truck brand, but they're reasonable depending upon the budget, of young technicians coming into the game who they don't have a lot of finances or funds, and they can't really afford the high end expensive tools that, like you're basically seeing right here, which is all Snap-on products. Okay, it is more affordable for you to go out and purchase a brand like this of Sunex or Tecton or Nico, Astro Pneumatic. Okay, um like I said, you want to go that route than wanting to go the route, of sets like these, because these sets, which are in half-inch drive, okay, the part number is 307-1PLMY, okay, and this ranges from 14 millimeter, 15, 17 to 19, 21, then it skips to 24. Okay, and then the part number over here is 307 IPLY. As you can see, this is half-inch running from 9/16 to 3/4, 7/8, 5/16, and 1 1/8. Okay, this is a 7-piece shallow SAE, and this is your metric shallow swivel impact socket set. I can't technically remember what I paid for both of these sets. When I did, but both of these sets was roughly over $500, okay, just for these two sets. So as you can see, in a half-inch drive set, which is only 7 units and 14 units altogether, you're paying over 500 and some change for these off the truck. There's been some times in some places that I've seen on other platforms, like such as eBay, where I actually seen sellers getting rid of these for even more than basically what's on the truck. Okay, so you're better off to go in this route right here. So is to say, as you see a set that's just like this, that's in the back. Okay, this was a set that I should have pulled out in the beginning of the video, okay, when I was showing specialty sockets, when it came to the ball joint socket and the tire rod socket. I was actually supposed to throw this in that part of the segment of the video, but as you can see, this is the 5-point metric deep impact socket set, and these are your axle nut sockets right here, okay? And what you're looking at is the 29, 30, 34, and 36 millimeters, okay? And this is another set, that can become quite expensive. You can basically, find other brands out there, because these type of sockets, it's mainly more dependent upon the work that you do, where that it will show whether it's being used a lot or whether it's not. It's basically all according to the work and how much you use them. So if you are a technician or a mechanic that's coming into the field who know the work, and you are doing the work more than often, then you would want to step up the quality. Okay, all the other two brands, yes, they have warranties and so on and so forth, but if you do actually have a tool truck accessible to you, and you have a good relationship, with your dealer, what I'm saying, me personally, there's a lot of things that I do purchase from the truck. There's a lot of things that I don't purchase. If you want to hear, my top 5 things that, if me giving my opinion, which should be purchased off the truck and which shouldn't be purchased, a lot of times when I shoot videos, when I am on a Snap-on truck and I'm spinning the camera around to show a lot of different items, not for nothing, the tool truck don't really have but so much for me, because most of the majority of the items that are on the truck, I already have them. You understand? And a lot of them wasn't necessarily purchased from the truck. I actually purchased them from outside platforms. But in my opinion, the top 5 tools and items, that I think that should be purchased off the truck is things such as like Snap-on scan tool, or digital torque wrenches, or something like pneumatic air tool accessories. Okay. um Another thing, a good ratchet. Okay. And if there's some type of specialty equipment, like specialized sockets or something like that, or some type of tool that specialized, that basically no other brand or no other company actually distributes at the prior moment. Okay, those would be my five top choices. As far as the 14.4 cordless line and some of their cordless tools and pneumatic tools, I'm not a big fan of their cordless tools and their pneumatic tools, as you can already see. I have a lot of Ingersoll Rand and a lot of Milwaukee. Okay. Okay, so it's enough. We're talking about this. Let's move along and get to it. Okay, moving along. As you can see, I have some wrenches out. I didn't pull everything out because, as you already know, I'm at my storage. I have a lot of things packaged and packed up, but I just pulled out these few items so that you can get an idea. Coming into the game, you're gonna want to get yourself a good set of wrenches, and there's a different variety of set of wrenches. Okay, what you're taking a look at here are the Milwaukee SAE and metric ratcheting open end combination max bites right here. Okay, then what you have over here is your regular normal standard combination open end max bites, ranging from 8 millimeter all the way to 22 millimeter. Okay, I actually have as you can see uh right there, the standard set, so that I do have a lot of this stuff in play. Okay, what you're taking a look at here is the long double boxing snap-on ratchet and wrench set here. Okay, and then what you're looking at here is the 12-point metric genius double boxing 0 degrees offsets. Okay, and then what you're taking a look at back here is the 6-piece metric high performance 0 degrees offset boxing wrenches. And as you can see, the part number here is XDHFM606. Okay, but depending upon when you first come into the game, more enough, you don't technically need these until you start performing different type of work. If you're new to the game, you know it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have snap on or that you have to have Milwaukee. There's, like I keep saying, there's many other different brands out there. This is just what you're taking a look at, is just my choice and preference of what particular brand tools that I use. And as you can see, you always see the snap-on brand and so on and so forth. But like I said, I have a snap-on dealer. Okay, so the situation is not always going to be the same for everybody, but there are many different options, and there's many different designs and styles in order for you to know, depending upon what type of work you doing, what type of applications that you get into. Okay, because you will have short stubby styles in open combination wrenches. You'll have stubbies in short ratcheting wrenches, short stubbies in combination flex head ratcheting. um, you will have line wrenches, flare nut wrenches. When it comes to those particular items, it's less cheaper to get those than to get flare nut sockets and weatherhead sockets, because those particular sockets are quite expensive. I don't actually have any to demonstrate in this particular video, but I will be obtaining the metric and the ASAE standard set sometime later on down the road. So when I do have those in my possession, I will basically put those out in a review. But as far as when you come into the game, I don't always advise for you to necessarily jump here to a set that's like this. Okay, in the 0 degrees coming from Snap-on, because these wrenches are very expensive. Okay, these wrenches are slightly underneath $300 a set, testically compared to a set that's like this, which is the Genius double box ends. Okay, this set roughly only cost me maybe about $100. okay, if slightly a little bit more. But the quality of the wrenches are so. The only issue that I have with these is that when it comes to the two smaller sizes, they do actually have a little flex in them, but you have to expect that because these wrenches are long, and in certain applications you don't depend upon putting a lot of torque on them. The snap-ons are more durable. They're designed a little bit differently. They're thinner in design, but they absolutely have no flex. Okay. As far as these Milwaukee wrenches, they have been holding up very well. I really like these. Before I actually had these Milwaukee sets, I actually had the Max sets. You understand? And the thing is I kind of missed the Mac wrenches that I did have. I actually discarded them with my 4-drawer tool cart, to boost the value a little bit, with that tool storage, just to solidify the sale or whatever the case may be. But in a set like this, that you're basically seeing, which is this snap-on double long, as you can see, it's like so long. I'm trying to stretch my arm in order for you to see it. So basically you can see how long these are. These double flex head box hand wrenches are very expensive on a truck. Okay, just this set of 5 is 5 and some change. They're $100 and some change a piece for each wrench. So I don't advise for you to go the way if your finances is not there. You understand? There's other cheaper brands out there that you can get, like Monster. They have a few of them teched in, that are still of good quality. Easy Reds. Okay, so that's just basically what it is. Get yourself a good set of wrenches. All right, let's move along and get to it. Okay, moving along. Real quick, as you see, I gotta run through the part number, which is SHCP1B. Okay, and what you're looking at is a hose, clamp, plier, and flexible cable remover. Okay, not for nothing, this is more of a luxury and personal preference, testically compared to, as you can see, I basically have something that is basically used to perform the same function. The only difference when having an item that's like this enables you to become more faster and more efficient in your job. So when you see things like this, okay, especially coming from the tool truck, there's always a fee, what I'm saying, that's basically associated to it in order for you to become more efficient in your job. But that's not to say that, these still cannot get the job done. Okay, so for the younger technicians coming to the game, like I said, it's not always necessary that you actually have to jump on a truck. Sometimes moving more faster is not good. Sometimes it's better, for you to take your time, move a little slower, understand your craft and understand your job. And then the more you start to learn and understand your job, with time and experience comes speed. And then when it comes with speed, then you will want to start stepping up the quality of your equipment so that you can do your job a whole lot much more efficiently. You understand? You don't want to take yourself and throw yourself into debt when you can actually pick up and get something for a reasonable price of decent semi quality. It may not be tool truck quality, but it's just more than enough to get you through a few jobs in order for you to make some money so that you can move forward and move ahead. Just wanted to put that out there real quick. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm running out of recording time, so I gotta be quick with this. Okay, what you're looking at is brake caliber press. Okay, you want to get yourself some good brake tools. Once again, depending upon what type of work that you do, but the part number is BTC P600. Okay, and as you can see here, this is a 1/4 inch flip socket. Okay, for its retaining springs. Then as you can see here, this is a bleeding wrench, okay, which is snap on, and then you have your snap on brake spoon, and then you also have another magnetic retaining clip tool extractor for the brakes, which is snap on. All these items are basically snap on, except this piston tool right here. These are alright, but they're not good for all make and model vehicles, only for certain particular models. So, sometimes they do come in handy, but you can basically get the job done without these. Okay, but I just happen to throw it in the video. Let's move along. Okay, and plenty of videos, as you can see in the last couple of previous videos, I was showing and demonstrating, a lot of different snap-on extensions. Okay, but in my suggestion, I really advise, especially if you are a new technician coming into the game, as you can see, these impact graded extensions here are Tecton. Okay, and this over here is Craftsman. This is not an old make Craftsman. This is actually a new Craftsman. Okay, and as just as well as I have some expert extensions and some Milwaukee extensions. Okay, but this just goes to show, this is not to say that these don't hold up, and it's for what reason why I actually have the snap-ons and so on and so forth. Okay, once again, don't get discouraged by the equipment, because it's not all about the most highest top notch tool truck equipment. It's dependent upon the work, in your profession, and how much you put your tools through, the motions. You understand? Because I'm a technician who do work 6 days a week. Okay, so tools is being put through heavy use. So depending upon your budget, I will go with other brands, such as the ones that I was saying earlier, like Tecton, Sunex, Nico, Astro Pneumatic, Gray Pneumatic. There's some other good brands out there. So, don't get discouraged or anything like that. Weigh your options and basically do your research. Let's get to it. Okay, just a few other essentials. Young technicians come into the game, what you should have in your tool chest. As you can see, you have a telescope and mirror, have a couple of magnets. Okay, I have some filler gauges. As you can see, Mac, I have some Milwaukee extractors, things of that nature you don't really wish to have, but when the time comes and the time presents itself, these could get you out of a serious jam and really help you, when it comes to specialty equipment like this, such as tap and die sets and extractor sets. These are sets that you don't really want to use, that aren't really used often, but you will come across situations where they will be required. It happens. It may not necessarily have anything to do with you. It may have something to do with work that was previously done and performed and serviced at another shop, and by the time you get a vehicle, it either has sheared off or rounded off fasteners that wasn't reported by our last technician, and then now you have the vehicle in your possession, and maybe possibly you didn't do the proper 6-point walk around inspection and miss something, and you possibly didn't document something, and then what happens is now the vehicle is released back to the customer, and then they notice something is technically wrong and an issue, and then they go back and report it, and it may be something that you didn't even do. So when it comes to specialized equipment, it's best to have it than not have it. And it's another thing is it's best to report it when you first notice it, instead of releasing it to a customer and not reporting it. Okay, to take a look down here, as you can see, you have a wire brush, just some essentials that technicians should have, like I was showing. I already showed the picks. When it comes to pneumatic air guns, you will want to get yourself a good 1/2 inch drive. At the prior moment, I don't have the Ingersoll out, or the high torque is in the bottom drawer, which you will want to get yourself in 1/2 inch drive. These two handguns that you see here are 1/4 inch drives, and as you see, that has a 1/4 inch anvil, and then what you have over here is a 1/4 inch hex. So you would want something like these. Okay, more enough. When you first start off, depending upon your budget, you may not have it, but as you go along and you move along in your job, you may want to pick these up so that you move along in your job a whole lot much more efficiently, just as well as you see the 3/8 drive in the ratchet and the 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch drive in the ratchet. This video, I've been already recording for an hour, and I still have a lot to go. So I see that I'm still trying to condense and get as much in as I possibly can right now. Okay. Another thing, what a young technician would like to have is an air pressure meter right here. Okay. A digital one. Okay. It helps, and it basically comes in handy. Let's get to it. So I'm running out of space and I'm running out of time. So I gotta be real brief with the last minute of this video. So my opinion and my advice to the younger technicians out there, storages don't make money, tools do. Okay, and just because you have high quality brand equipment and tool truck storages and equipment doesn't necessarily make you a professional or a top-notch technician or mechanic. For them younger technicians out there, study